I got it! I got it! I got it! I got it! The brand new DJI Osmo Pocket, and it's the cutest gimbal in the world. Okay, so before we get into the specs, let's go ahead and take a look at the Osmo Pocket. I mean, here's my hand, and I have small hands, and so it's smaller than my small hand. I just admitted to the world I have small hands. So, quick overview of the DJI Osmo Pocket. It shoots 4K video up to 60 frames a second and can take JPEG, PNG, and RAW photos. For reference, here's the gimbal next to a Sony Z battery, a Google Pixel 3, not the XL, and the most silliest banana. The Osmo Pocket has a Bluetooth adapter to connect to your phone and also acts as a stand. You have the power button, the record button, and the adapter that includes a tilt pan wheel, selfie button, and a mode button to switch to follow, FPV, and tilt lock. Fancy. You can attach your phone to the gimbal to act as a monitor, as well as change the settings of the gimbal. But I'll let Sid take over from here. Take it away, small hands. Okay, so I just tested out the Osmo Pocket along with the phone, and as you'd expect, it's kind of awkward, you know, holding it this way. But it was really good to see a bigger screen on my phone. But now we're going to test out the Osmo Pocket by using the tiny little screen over here. Mind you, it is a 4:3 image, but when you see it on your computer, you're going to see a full 16:9 picture. Sorry guys, but you can actually change the aspect ratio on the screen so you can see your entire composition. That was our bad. As you were. So now we're using the Osmo Pocket by itself, and already it feels way better, and it feels really good in the hands, and I feel actually a lot more comfortable vlogging with a camera this size versus having it, you know, attached to a phone or even using a big camera. Okay, so there is a little switch over here where if you switch it to the right, it'll control the tilt of the gimbal, and if you switch it to the left, it'll control the pan. So in this instance, we are going to control the tilt because I want to walk through the corridor, start with my frame pointed up, and then I'm going to tilt down and continue walking this corridor. So here we go. We'll make for a pretty shot, hopefully. Okay, here we go. I'm recording in 3, 2, 1, and we're walking, and then we're tilting down. Oh, that's pretty. And nice. Oh, wow, that's cool. And tilt back up. Reveal and end scene. That was pretty good. I gotta say, I noticed that the wheel is motion sensitive. In other words, like the harder you push it, then the faster it'll tilt. But if you kind of control it slowly, then it will tilt slowly. So that is very handy. Really, really, really good feature. Okay, so now we're gonna test out the Osmo Pocket as a vlogging camera. So in order to do selfie mode, just push this button over here on the adapter and woo-wee. And I don't know if you can see it, but the square, the face tracking square is already locked onto my face no matter where I go. That is really cool. And I think I'm gonna hold the gimbal like this, which puts it out further away from my face, because I kind of want as wide a shot as possible. But when I do that, the tilt actually locks because of the face tracking feature, which is incredibly, incredibly helpful. And so let's go test this bad boy out. Walking down a corridor here in the beautiful city of Orange County, California. Walking down the street over here, guy with a coffee cup over here, and looks like the face tracking is working. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna hold the camera out a little bit further to see if it follows. Follow, maybe not. Oh, we gotta switch. Okay, here we go. Vlogging as I would. Really helpful that the camera, really helpful that the screen is right there. I can check out my composition. But let's go ahead and test out the audio in this street setting. Here we go. Nowadays, everybody want to talk that they got something to say, but nothing comes out when you move your lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and you all act like you forgot about Trey. Nowadays, everybody want to talk that they got something to say, but nothing comes out when you move your lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and you all act like you forgot about Trey. I didn't want to curse at that part. Family channel. Okay, so now I'm going to do a running test and see how smooth the gimbal will perform as I run down the street like a crazy madman. You ready? Okay, here we go. We're going to do a running test, running like a madman down the street. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
So this camera also not only does 4K at 60 frames per second, but it does have a slow motion mode, which I think is around 120 frames per second. We haven't even pulled it into a computer yet to see. It does crop in on the sensor by 4 times, so it's a huge crop. But if you're getting a shot like this with the water fountain, cropping in, just stand a little far back, get that nice water movement. Let's see how it looks.
A little bit dangerous, and I'm going to extend the reach all the way out as far as I can.
Oh.
Okay, that was it. So now we're going to play back, and we're going to find out if this thing plays back in slow motion. Here we go. It's playing back in slow motion. Look at that. Beautiful. That's great.
Yeah, so there's 2 video modes here. We got basic and pro. Basic is going to give you, I mean, it's just basic. You have a different, you have a standard picture profile. It's really crunchy. It looks good out of camera, but you're gonna probably blow your highlights. You also don't have a lot of the granular frame rates, like 48 frames per second, for example, or 23.98, 30, 60, all those. You only have 2 options, 60 and 30. But when you go to the pro mode, you have the ability to record in MP4, movie mode. You can change your white balance, you can change your picture profile. That's the main one that I want, is I want to be able to shoot in cine-like profile. That gives you the most dynamic range on this camera. I'm gonna switch to 4K 60, forget about the face tracking, and just get some really beautiful B-roll here for an epic B-roll sequence. So my favorite feature, and I'm sure it's yours too, is this Instagram story / IGTV feature. And a lot of people roll their eyes at vertical video, but look, it's a thing, right? Like, it's a thing, people are doing it. The fact that you can shoot vertical video with a gimbal is a big deal, because in order to do that on a real gimbal would require you to like rig your camera in a really weird way. I don't know why they don't add a vertical mode. It should be something they do, but it might be something to do with software, but you can do vertical video with this, and it actually works surprisingly well. And it's stabilized. It's actually a real gimbal. It's not a GoPro using stabilization with digital stabilization, which, by the way, is amazing. I don't know if you've used the 7 Black, but you can never beat real, actual gimbal stuff. There's a lot of features that we weren't able to touch on because of time and also just beta software. You can track using the app. You can draw a little square around people and track them. That's pretty cool. Although I think this thing really is best when you use it without a phone. I think it's so much easier and quicker to use.
So that is our first impressions and very quick review of the DJI Osmo Pocket. Thank you so much, Dave, for letting me hang out with you and play with this amazing little cute gimbal. If you don't know Dave and the guys at Kinotika, give them a follow, subscribe to them. They're amazing. They provide really great content, so make sure to subscribe. The link will be in the description below. Dave, thank you so much for hanging out. We are best friends now.
Yes, we are.
Check out the DJI Osmo Pocket. See ya.